I had this thought the other day. What if someone saved your life and asked you to do something? Would you actually do it? So here's a made-up scenario I had in my head. Let's say you're in the middle of the ocean for some reason, or you're somewhere and something crazy happens. A natural disaster, a weather event. So tons of rain coming down and you're trapped somewhere and you're surely gonna die. Except one person sees you out there and risks his life to go and save you. Maybe he swims out into the ocean and grabs you and pulls you up to shore, and he's almost dead and he's hurt and he's all cut up, but you're alive, and you both end up recovering, and you feel obviously very thankful that you have a second lease on life. And you go up to him maybe a couple of weeks later, and you heartfelt emotions, and you tell him, hey, I really appreciate you saving my life. I would be dead without you. And I just want to ask you, is there anything that you want from me? Because I owe you everything. And I just want to talk to you and see what I can do for you, and see if there's anything I can help you out in return. And then in return, maybe he tells you to, I don't know, donate, 10% of your income to his charity every year for the rest of your life, or whatever. I don't know what it could be. What's a request that could be done that's doable, right? It's not like go and win the gold medal in gymnastics or something like that, So it's something that the request has to be something that is doable, right? Maybe it could be like a wacky request, like you should always do a dance every day, or say a prayer every day, something like that. So there is some kind of menial task, or maybe not so menial, but something that's doable. And if he says that to you, how strictly would you abide by that rule? So let's just say for this example, he tells you, hey man, I saved your life. I saved your life. It was something that I had to do, and because I loved you. I love everybody, and I saw human life out there, and I just had to save your life. And I'm glad you're asking me for something in return, because I want you to donate 10% of your income, however much money you're making. I don't know how much money you're making, but 10% of your income yearly, every year, once a year, donate it to this charity. This charity helps starving kids. All right? This charity helps starving kids. All right? I'm an old guy, so please keep doing this. Even when I'm gone, I'm not going to check up on you and anything. But just for your integrity, can you promise me that you'll do this? Can you promise me that? And so maybe you shake hands with him and say like, hey, for sure, I don't even deserve to be alive. I mean, I will be at the bottom of the ocean if it weren't for you. So thank you, and I'll do that. I'll do it right now. So maybe you go home and you say, okay, on this day, I will donate 10% of my income. So I don't know, if you're making $50,000 a year, that'll be what, $500, right? So it's like $500 to this charity. Click submit, done. I held up my end of the bargain for this year. And then next year, maybe you do that, and then third year after that, you do that, and then maybe after a while, this man dies, right? And he was the only one who knew about this deal. He never checked up on you. Maybe he went back to living in Wisconsin or something like that, and you just never saw him again. And you think to yourself, well, I mean, it's been a while. It's been like 5 years, and I'm saving for a vacation, my wife and I are about to have kids soon, and this money could be used to pay for daycare. I'm not a rich guy. I know he asked me to donate 10%, but I'm not a rich guy. I mean, I have money, but I'm not a rich guy, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it later. Maybe I'll double up next year or something like that. So yeah, I'm not totally obeying him, but maybe I'll do it later. I feel a little guilty about it, but I have my reasons. I mean, he would understand. I mean, he seems like a reasonable dude, and he doesn't want me to be beholden to this kind of arbitrary rule of charity. So I guess I'll just kind of put it off. And would you do that? Would you end up forgetting about it? How would you justify just not doing it anymore? So this kind of scenario, if you might have guessed, is me trying to make a comparison, a flawed comparison, of course, but somewhat of a comparison to the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, right? So Jesus Christ came to earth through Mary's womb. He was walking the earth as a humble man, fully God, but also fully human. And he ended up suffering from what humanity did to him. But he did that to sacrifice his life for our sins so that we can go to heaven. He didn't have to do that. We didn't deserve that. We definitely didn't deserve that. And we killed Jesus. All of us killed Jesus, right? You might be thinking, well, Jesus died just like in general. Like he didn't die for you. I mean, like it's not like super personal, but it actually is, right? It Jesus being divine and being infinite, like he did this for everyone, for everyone who's ever lived, for you and for me. And what does he ask for in return? Is obedience. And we have to remember that our life is not our life. This is not ours. This flesh and bone and brain and soul, like we belong to God. We belong to God. And that's kind of crazy to say. Crazy is not the right word. That's kind of radical to say, because like intuitively we think like, oh, this is me. This is me. This is my actions. This is what I have. This is what I've earned. This is the money that I have. But is it? Because you were created in some way, shape, or form. You were created, even if it's one or two steps removed from the creator. It's still ultimately going back to being created by God. That you are not entitled to be alive, right? This life that you're living, that you and I are living, it's not ours. It was given to us. And it was given to us with these restrictions or demands. And because we have free will, and we're not robot slaves, that we have to obey these laws even if we don't feel like it. That's the rule. We have to do it. But obviously, as we all know, it's impossible. Nobody can be perfect, right? Nobody can adhere to everything and not fall into temptation and be like, oh yeah, let's justify this. Like, yeah, like he said, Jesus said no sex before marriage, but come on, I mean, everybody does that. I mean, he'll forgive me, whatever. I'll just do it. Major sin. You deserve to be destroyed. You deserve to be deleted. We deserve to be deleted. it weren't for Jesus, Jesus came and said, hey, you are trash, dude. You're a vile trash. Something wrong. You're broken, man. What are you? You shouldn't, how dare you? I made you. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't even be alive. I made you. Think about that. You like your arms, you like your legs, you like that hair you have, you like that money you have, you like all that pleasure, you like sex, you like eating delicious steak. That feels good, doesn't it? Feels great. You like going on a bath, like taking a bath in a hot tub. Feels great, huh? Well, these are the gifts that I've given you. Well, you are ungrateful because you get all this and you just say, no, I'm going to keep this. I don't care what you have to say. You're basically saying, screw you, God. I know you made me. I know you made me, but what are you going to do about it? I'm just going to do my own thing. I mean, I'll do my own thing, and I'll do it good. I'll make it look good while doing it. I'll look good doing it, and come on, I'm better than most people. So, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, just think about how terrible that sounds. Because we're vile creatures. We need to think about that. We need to really think about how terrible we are, and it's even more terrible that we justify it. And it's terrible, I'm guilty of this too, that we look at others and we think, I'm better than that guy. I mean, I bought a Bible. That's pretty righteous. This guy over here, he's not even religious. He's atheist. Ooh, look at him. I'm better than him. Yeah, no, not really. It's like, are you closer to going to space because you climbed up a ladder? Or you're trying to get to space by trying to get to Mars by jumping on a trampoline? Right? We're all in the same boat here, guys. Hate to break it to you. We're all in the same boat. We're all vile sinners. We're all vile sinners. None of us are perfect. None of us are probably even close. None of us are even close. And we don't know God's standards. So if we think it's unjust that God will destroy us for sinning once in our entire life, what's your basis for that reasoning? If God demands perfection and you're not perfect, even if you messed up once, that little seed of rejection that you had once could be pretty bad. Could be pretty bad. We don't know what the rubric is because the Bible kind of categorizes people as mostly good or mostly bad, right? You read in the Bible, it's like this king he did good in God's eyes, but obviously nobody was perfect. So this king did good, but it's always a but. King David was good, but also bad. Also did some terrible things. And so we're all bad people. And we cannot obey or obey perfectly. We try to obey, and that's what's important. And obeying to the point where we confess and do what is commanded of us, that's the important part. To earn that, I don't know about earn that grace, but to receive that grace. That's a better word, I should say. And I am on a faith journey. Pray for me. I am trying to get to that point in my faith where I can receive that salvation. And I want my family to receive that salvation. I want my friends to receive that salvation. But selfishly, I want my inner circle, me, and then people that I know. That's just kind of my wretched nature, right? And eventually, of course, I want everyone to be saved. But yeah, I feel like I got a long way to go, but I gotta keep trying, keep working at it. I think we all need to. And we all need to soften our hearts and trying and hoping that we receive some help along the way. Because I'm so new to this, I feel like I don't know what I don't know. And which is hard, because arrogance is one of my vices, for sure. One of my bad traits is I feel like I know better than others, even if I don't. And it's something I have to chip away at, right? It's hard for me to admit that. It's hard for me to truly internalize that and believe that. And then not just believe that intellectually, but also work towards improving myself in that area. Yeah. It's a lot to think about. But I thought about that analogy the other day, that we are not creatures of logic. We're not robots. If we were, we just press the button, agree, donate 10% to charity every year, never ever divulge from this, prioritize this action, beep, beep, beep. We're not robots, though. We were given the gift of not being robots, and that became our downfall. And that's the mystery. We don't know exactly how God works, but that's the plan that God has made for us, and we trust that is good, because God is the ultimate good.